A very accessible hole location. More back right. Okay, I don't know what. He didn't seem to like it as soon as it left the blade. Uphill right to left for a birdie. Back to 18.
Now Chad Campbell's situation. Robbie about his options.
I'm being told we didn't have exactly where it was.
They don't have exactly. So, yeah, I mean, you guys saw the ball flight. Stop right where.
So he has to decide whether it crossed the margin of the hazard up there and kicked in, and I'm guessing that he's going to try and play this because it didn't cross the margin of the hazard. So you know he'd be dropping it right now if he thought it did.
Well, if you miss any great shots or just want to see them again, you can visit PGAtour.com for exclusive highlights, fun player features, and more. Go to PGAtour.com/video now.
Oh, he's decided to go back.
So he will take the long walk back. Dustin Johnson with a one-shot lead here in the final round of the FedEx St. Jude Classic, and he waits. The FedEx St. Jude Classic is sponsored by ExxonMobil, taking on the world's toughest energy challenges. By MetLife, I can do this. And by FedEx. Next time you travel, let FedEx ship your golf clubs, luggage, and more. FedEx, solutions that matter. In Memphis, and in 2 weeks, June 23rd and 24th, the PGA Tour on CBS takes you to the Tournament Players Club River Highlands as Bubba Watson, Vijay Singh, Padraig Harrington, and many more are among those expected at the Travelers Championship. That's in 2 weeks here on CBS. So back at the 18th, and here's where Chad Campbell has dropped and will hit his third shot. Chad, a four-time winner on the PGA Tour. Only one top 10 last year. That was the fewest of his career on the PGA Tour. An important shot on its way.
Another excellent shot. Right beside Rory's. Both beautiful attempts. So both players will probably hit a little chip and run from there, or perhaps a putt like Ryan Palmer, and but they need to hole it for par to stay at 8 under.
And see what Dustin Johnson can do, and he's had a bit of a wait.
Some players that would hurt, having a long wait there. The tension would build, but I think for Dustin Johnson, that's an advantage. He had a good chance to see exactly what was going on, see the mistakes that had been made. And I think he will fire a 3-wood way out towards those bunkers down the right.
Dustin made bogey at 18 yesterday, but still shot 67.
He's aiming way right. Perfect. That's exactly what Chad and Rory were trying to do. A big, hard draw with a 3-wood. Well, he's now put himself in position to fire at birdie.
Well, it's the second major of the year on the Champions Tour, the region's tradition at an outstanding venue, Shoal Creek in Birmingham, Alabama. And defending champion Tom Lehman has continued his outstanding play through 54 holes, 3 consecutive rounds in the 60s after a third round 68. And goes into the final round 2 shots clear of Peter Sr. and Jeff Sluman. Tom trying to win his third major on the Champions Tour. Also won the Senior PGA back in 2010. Nationwide tours down in Mexico this week for the Mexico Open, and Lee Williams, with only 1 bogey over his last 36 holes, goes into the final round with a 1-shot advantage. First time that he's ever held a 54-hole lead on the Nationwide tour. As we go back to the play at 17.
John Merrick 8 under par, and he's aware that stuff is going on at 18. This for a birdie. Pretty good run. I did a little work to do coming back. 8 under. Dustin Johnson 9 under, and in play off the tee at 18. Very important. To the 18th.
Kevin Stadler sort of stayed pretty much level at -6, trying to catch the slope, and that's a nice effort.
Yeah, that was a daunting shot, firing back at the water. Even for players of this level, it's always difficult to be aggressive.
17 again.
Well, Nick O'Hearn bogeyed the 14th par 3, then birdied 15. And a beautiful birdie here takes him to 8 under, 1 off the Johnson lead. And a good birdie. I'm not having birdied 16. That short par 5. Notching, it was on a good line all the way. Good putt.
It wasn't a very long putt at all either at 16, was it? This could quite easily have had 3 in a row.
And now Roy here at 18, 4th shot.
Trying to chip it in. Good play, good aggressive thought process there. Not trying to just cozy it up close, but trying to hold it.
Great scene. Always is here in Memphis.
It's a great golf crowd. Really get behind the tournament and the sponsor.
Very knowledgeable as well. Here's Chad Campbell, his 4th shot.
Good looking.
174th in putting this year, but this week, 4th in putting.
Always the difference, isn't it? The putting.
Eric made his putt at 17, so he's at 8 under.
Well, both these players will have those 4-footers left for bogey to drop back to 7. But a couple of other guys at 8 now in the mix.
Regardless of how it turns out, this would be the best finish of the year for Chad Campbell. Previously, his best result, a couple of 24th place finishes. Solid from opening day. Started with a 68.
Just a couple of years ago, lost in a playoff at the Masters with Angel Cabrera.
And Kenny Perry.
That's right.
As well.
Good week, too, for Kevin Stadler. He's going to finish in the top 10. This one for par. Boy, if he could have putted this week, missed a lot of putts that we've seen. At one point yesterday was leading the field in driving accuracy and greens in regulation, but just couldn't make those putts.
He had gotten it to 9 under, and if he could have stayed there right now, he'd be tied with Dustin Johnson. Out in 35, then a bogey at the last, so actually he would have dropped 1 back, but 35 coming in. 70 for Stadler. Now Roy. Is this for bogey?
Too many putts this week. If he'd putted well on short putts, he would have won easily.
Finishes with double.
Disappointing tee shot there for him, and then obviously a number of short putts missed throughout the week, but still in better form going into the Open next week.
Remember, he had missed 3 consecutive cuts internationally coming into Memphis, so his major goal, he said, was just to be in contention and trying to gather some positive momentum. Now Chad Campbell is putt for bogey. Nice week for Chad Campbell. And from West Texas.
Ian Ryan Palmer now best in the clubhouse at 7 under.
Well, Dustin Johnson waits after beautiful tee shot at 18. He's got a 1-shot lead. Watch the Winners News Conference on demand at PGAtour.com as we welcome you back Here to Memphis, TPC Southwind, final round of the FedEx St. Jude Classic, and it has been a real shootout. Dustin Johnson avoided the water at 18. And he's alone with the lead at 9 under. Robert Allenby will be first.
Hold a huge putt for par at 17. If he could make birdie here, he gets to 7 under. And you know Robert's going to be going at the flag from 179. It's been a while for Robert as well.
Doubled the final hole at Mayacoba in Mexico to fall into a playoff with John Haas. We look at Dustin Johnson. Allenby lost, by the way, on the 8th hole of sudden death there. Didn't waste much time.
Walking after it. Took the water out of play, a little long, a little right. Good smart play there for Dustin Johnson. 5 wins in his career. One of only 4 players in their 20s that has more than 3 wins. It's Dustin Johnson, Sean O'Hare, Anthony Kim, and Rory McIlroy.
You know, he survived an earthquake and a hurricane in the New York City area to win the Barclays. It was cut to 54 holes. That was his 5th win on tour, most of any U.S. player in their 20s. And, of course, the beginning of the playoffs for the FedEx Cup. And he'll take a big jump in the standings now this week after missing 2.5 months with the back injury. Top 20 at Memorial, and great chance for a win here in Memphis. And a nice ovation from this crowd.
Yes, he's been practicing very hard down in the Jupiter area. Both these players members of the Bears Club. Jack Nicklaus's home course down there. Practice a lot. A lot of experience for young Kevin Kisner this weekend as well, playing with some good players. 5 under himself.
Dustin 4 under for his final round as we go back to the tee. And taking a practice cut, Nick O'Hearn, who has played well also. 2 under here in the final round. 1 behind.
Needs a birdie. No, it's going to be a watery grave for Nick O'Hearn as well. That was a nervous swing.
And that was well to the left.
Had to go with driver. Doesn't have the length of the big hitters. But steered it out there to the left. Disappointing for Nick.
John Merrick. Look at how he's played the 18th this week. Had a double at 12, but able to come back, and he's just 1 behind.
Leads the field in scrambling this week, but he's been swinging the club very well as we watch him here with 3 wood. Down the right with the little draw. He can hit it a long way. Well, he doesn't like it, but at least he's looking right and not left. It's a tough finishing hole. We see it every year.
It's always a challenge for the leaders. Special thanks to the MetLife Blimp for our overhead views today. For 25 years, the MetLife Blimp has provided tournament fans with reliable aerial coverage. And now Davis, 6.5 weeks after the rib injury. He wasn't able to play, but has come roaring back at the age of 48 and has put together terrific back-to-back weeks. 16th at Memorial and in contention here. And a perfect drive.
Did you see the speed of the swing there, the aggression? The other two were the other way. The other two were steery swings. They were, let's not hit it in trouble. But that was a beautiful swing from Davis Love. Big putt here for Dustin Johnson from 30 feet. From where everyone else is located, I would say 2 putts for par for 9 under. It's probably all he needs, although John Merrick is down the right side in the rough. He could make birdie to get to 9 under. Unlikely from where he is.
Chance to set the number at 10 under.
Picks up speed here. Well done. Couldn't be too aggressive. He gets very quick past the hole towards the water on the front. I think that's all he'll need.
Yeah, that might be enough.
You never know, though, do you? We've seen some unlikely finishes this season. Well played.
The turn is in the water, and Merrick is well to the right. It'll take a brilliant shot to give himself a birdie chance. Out in 33 and home in 33 for Dustin Johnson.
And a good comeback after over a couple of months off due to injury. Comes back strong. He's been working out hard, practicing hard the last few weeks. Came back ready to play. So at 9 under, a couple of opportunities in that final group. John Merrick could make birdie. Davis Love could hole out for his second to get to 9 under to tie.
Allenby to finish at 7 under.
Good effort. Still a good week for Robert Allenby. Finish at 6 under par, and it's been a few weeks for him since he's played well.
3 birdies on the front, couple of bogeys, and all pars coming home.
Just couldn't get a putt there for the birdie there on that second 9. Good feeling for Dustin Johnson going into the US Open next week, where had a good chance to win a couple of years back at Pebble Beach.
Also with a chance to win, of course, at Whistling Straits, PGA Championship. There's,
wow.
It's unlikely there's not a major in Dustin Johnson's future. He's just too talented.
I agree.
Dustin, by the way, turns 28 on June 22nd. Look at young Mr. Kisner. Speaking of talent, this guy's got it. Shot 62 as a defending champion in the Milan Classic on the Nationwide Tour earlier this year outside of Pittsburgh. 11th at Q School last year. Young man who grew up in the Augusta area. Went to South Aiken High School just across the state line in South Carolina. Won a couple of state championships there. Four-time All-America at Georgia, was the team captain when they won the NCAA championship. Closes with 71.
And 4 under will tie Podrick Harrington in a tie for 13th.
So Dustin Johnson with a nice ovation, tip of the cap to these great fans here in Memphis. He'll go sign his card and wait. Sunday on CBS Sports, see emotional and inspirational moments as outstanding athletes pursue greatness in 15 championship events on the Buick Spring Highlight Show presented by LG. That's next Sunday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time here on CBS Sports. And there's a look from above at the last. Dustin Johnson in with 66. Likely that will be good enough for his 6th win on the PGA Tour. Nick O'Hearn, after finding the water, getting ready for his 3rd shot.
Took advantage of that lateral hazard rule. Took it to this side, adjacent to where it crossed the line. Needs a good shot here. Cut for the left-hander, a long iron. A great shot would just run up onto the front of the green, but we saw Rory McIlroy and Chad Campbell hit really good shots here, just in short. Wonderful view there from on high of what he faces. Needs to hit a pretty good fade if he's going to be aggressive and knock it on.